What's going on, guys? Jack here from Just Decoded. I break down body language and non-verbal communication to find out what people are truly saying and thinking. I've been seeing an old clip resurface a lot recently, and it's of the NWA press conference in London shortly after Ice Cube left the group. Now, this is not just a normal Q&A. The journalists clearly have an agenda, are being quite confrontational towards the group, and are asking some very challenging questions. I found it super interesting seeing how the group handle themselves as it all unfolds, as they answer these provocative questions, and also their response when talking about Ice Cube leaving the group. So in today's video, I'm going to break down the body language, uncover any hidden truths, and I'm going to point out a few key moments that I think you might have missed. Quick side note, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. Really helps me out. I also have a free 30-day email mini course to learn body language, and the link is in the description. With that being said, let's jump right into the video.
Yeah, I heard that you guys are trying not to be associated so what could the gangs, and you were a couple of press you went out saying you were going to talk about it. Why is that, man?
What do you mean that we don't want to
Right off the bat, as they ask the question, Dr. Dre is clearly rubbing his face. This is a self-soothing behavior, clearly uncomfortable with what he's hearing there.
be associated with the gangs?
I want to talk about it.
Because, what do you want to know about it?
Well, I'm just curious about you guys. Like, are you still thinking?
As Eazy E says, what do you want to know about it? He takes a hands clasped position, almost like a handshake. In this context, it shows us a level of frustration and also an attempt to self-restraint.
Gangs, you're not really in.
We never was down with gangs in the first place.
It's like everybody that does an interview with NWA, they bring up gangs, you know, and everybody else from LA, when they get interviewed, they bring up gangs. They even made a movie Colors about it, and they think, ask us, why don't we make records to stop the gangs and all this kind of shit, but no matter what you do, the gangs are still gonna be here, you know. A lot of people, if we told you something about a gang, it ain't nothing you already heard before, so it ain't no use to keep talking about the gangs. You know, we here to make records, we here to talk about NWA, not the gangs.
Yeah, but your records are about gangs and
Our records is about the streets.
We never said anything about one gang in none of our records.
The streets don't deal with just one gang. The streets deal with everything in society. It's more to society than one gang.
Since you get caught about NWA, what happened to Ice Cube?
Here we can see MC Ren pursing his lips, kind of pressing them together like that. This is almost always a negative body language trait, and we often do this when we're trying to withhold words that we want to say, but we're keeping them in.
What happened to Ice Cube?
Fuck him. Exactly.
Are you as unpleasant as you're made out to be by the press? Do you feel you're as unpleasant as you're made out to be by the press?
Hey, take it how you want.
Yeah, the press change everything around every once in a while.
We've never read an article that, said the shit that we said in the interview.
Yeah, because
They always change that shit.
everybody think that we just four black little niggas from Compton that don't have no sense, that didn't go to school, that don't know nothing, but we know more than a lot of people think we know.
That's
You know,
why we
if you got
paid.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's all about street smarts. We got more brains than a motherfucker that go to college for 6.
I just want to draw attention to this length forwards, arms to cross position that most of the guys have been sitting in. A common misconception in body language is that arms crossed is always a negative cue, that we either don't like something that we're seeing or hearing, but that's actually not true. It can often just be for comfort. But when we feel defensive or that there might be a threat inbound, we do naturally protect our vital organs and our sensitive areas. So crossing the arms protects our stomachs, where a lot of them are housed. So it can be a negative body language trait, but it really depends on the context.
Cheers. We've been on the street for 20 years. We know more than that, so take it how you want it. Any more questions? Any more questions? We like to take the shit and take the worst.
It was the thing about money, and he wasn't.
No, he was on an ego trip.
Ego trip?
Yeah.
I-
Yeah, for a while.
I heard that he wrote most of the lyrics.
Number one, he was jealous of me.
And number two, you can't go by what you hear all the time. If you knew our music and you was deep into the group, you'll know who wrote what. So you can't believe everything you hear.
You see, Ice Cube was just featured on a lot of the stuff, and he went first on a lot of the stuff. But when you hear the new NWA, you'll see that we didn't need the motherfucker.
Yeah, straight up.
You done with the second album now?
Second album, we're still working on it. Right.
It's
The first single was done.
been reported in the press that the FBI are looking into the fact that maybe the record company Ruthless Records has been founded on money from drugs. Is there any truth in that?
Oh, shit.
So why are they looking?
One of the main principles in reading body language is to look for deviations from their baseline. How were they behaving? How are they behaving now? Dr. Dre has been very quick to answer questions this whole time, but when asked that question, the reaction was different. His once most animated body became still, he paused for a long duration, and he maintained a pretty stiff glare with the journalist. That to me indicates something was triggered inside Dre at that moment. Does it mean the journalist was right and that it was funded on drug money? Nah, not necessarily, but there was definitely a level of discomfort evoked from that question.
into it then?
I have nothing else to do.
Got nothing
I
else to
think
do.
I think they should be more worried about, the shit that we're talking about on our record than our records. They should be more worried about the streets and saving lives than worrying about, what NWA is doing or saying.
Yeah, and everybody knows what's up on the FBI anyway, so we don't need to go into that.
So what are you suggesting should be done to improve conditions around Compton and elsewhere?
You can't do nothing to improve it. All you can do is tell about it and let everybody be aware of what's going on. You can't change it.
It's going to have to improve itself. Nobody's going to be able to say it, do anything to change.
That's like self-destruction. They made a record about self-destruction. A record ain't gonna make nobody stop doing what they was doing. They're gonna do what they want to do anyway.
And you just done one, huh?
Yeah, we did one, but our part on the record.
I want you to take a quick look at Eazy E. He's been rubbing his neck for a while now. A neck rub, especially for a prolonged period of time, is a surefire sign of unease. It's a pacifying behaviour. All in all, when you look at the fire they're coming under right now, I think they're doing a good job of maintaining composure, but you can see subtle signs like this that are showing deep down they're probably not enjoying their time here.
It's called We're All in the Same Gang. It's about gangs. And we state, when we come out, our first line is we not here to preach because we not ministers. We tell everybody we not here to preach. We just telling you what's up. So it ain't like we sold out. They do the record,
Hey, Eazy, were you really a drug dealer before?
Nah.
I heard that maybe you were a drug dealer, but you were the bad man.
For real?
That's where the money for Ruthless came from.
For real, came from an inheritance.
Yeah, somebody in his family died.
Again, deviation from baseline. As the reporter asked, were you a drug dealer before? Eazy E says nah, and then starts trying to cover his face, even tucks it into his arm at one point, and also again trying to cover the neck. And we're now starting to see him fidget with the ashtray. Something about that question definitely triggered him, and it could be a sign of deception that he's actually lying in his answer.
Excuse me, you say that you're not truthful, but you do have quite guilty issues from the past. Are you going to maintain that position in the future?
The shit gets worse.
Yeah. Anytime you tell the truth,
It's worse.
anytime you tell the truth about the streets or what's going on in life, everybody says political. And therefore, for us not doing any fairy tale or love song records, I guess we'll stay political if that's what you want to call it.
You see, they're talking about, the language NWA uses and about banning our records in certain towns, but nobody ever said anything about a Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy record.
Yeah.
They've been doing more cussing than we'll ever do,
So what are you going to be doing whilst you're in London when you've actually got time off?
Looking for some trainer.
One of the lines in the album is "Life's all about bitches and money." Do you really agree with that? And why do you always refer to women as bitches?
We don't say, wait a minute, fuck that. We didn't say all women are bitches. Now, there are bitches, then there's women.
We never talk about women. We talk about bitches.
Just going to reload that real quick.
Why do you always refer to women as bitches?
We don't say, wait a minute, fuck that. We didn't say all women are bitches. Now, there are bitches, then there's women.
We never talk.
This is actually the first time we've heard Yella speak up in this interview up until this point, and the fact he chose now of all moments I think is quite interesting. He was really connected to that question, and this was emphasised by his chopping of the table as he was explaining. When we chop the table like this, we are passionate, we want to get our point across and we want to be heard. Probably not any deeper meaning to that, I just thought it was interesting, wanted to point it out.
Talk about women. We talk about bitches.
You statement that you made about South Africans, you sort of said basically.
What?
Apparently, you've supposedly said that, South Africa doesn't give a fuck about you, so you have to...
Number one is, we don't talk about South Africa because we don't know nothing about over there.
We never been.
Leave that to whoever else, a public enemy. They do their thing and we do our thing. We talk about the streets and where we from.
How do you feel about comparison to Public Enemy?
Hey, they do their thing, we do our thing.
Is there much rivalry?
I've just cut back to that Eazy E segment, and again, when we feel strongly about something, we become visual storytellers. Our bodies become more animated and we start telling stories with our hands. He was saying over here, over that. So again, probably no deeper meaning to it, but he feels very strongly about this question. Man, the line of questions from these journalists have been pretty brutal. They've clearly come in here click farming, just wanting them to slip up and wanting them to say something out of line to get their new headline. But all in all, NWA doing a fantastic job of maintaining composure. However, you can tell from everything I've mentioned up until this point, there are negative emotions felt from the guys and they probably aren't enjoying the process, but clearly media trained and clearly know how to handle this situation. But yeah, that's it for this video. Going to wrap this one up. Reminder, a free 30-day email mini course in the description if you want to learn body language. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.